Welcome to summer in Iceland. I'm here out on deck on the Hebridean Sky. It's June, it's windy, it's quite chilly, but it's almost midnight and the sun is still full in the sky. Carrying just over 100 passengers, this is an ideal ship for this type of voyage, covering not only the highlights of Iceland, but also being able to access smaller ports that larger ships simply cannot reach.
This cruise begins and ends in the capital, Reykjavik, home to around 2/3 of Iceland's small population. Our first outing was a day trip by coach, exploring the Golden Circle, which takes in 3 of Iceland's most iconic landmarks: the spectacular Gullfoss waterfall, the historic Thingvellir National Park, and erupting geysers. All 3 unmissable, but especially visiting in June, we were never going to have them all to ourselves. But that was about to change as we set sail from the capital for our circumnavigation of Iceland, a country renowned for its dramatic landscapes, vast wilderness and remote, tiny communities. Looking after us along the way was a team of 80, including crew, restaurant and housekeeping teams, and crucially, the expedition team, led on this cruise by Jenna.
We're a team of both generalists and specialists. For our specialties, we have an ornithologist, a geologist, a glaciologist, an oceanographer, an archaeologist. We have a couple of tour managers, we have some specialist Zodiac drivers, and we're a team of diverse individuals. We work very well together, I think.
The expedition team are on hand throughout, whether out on tours, dining with guests, up on deck spotting wildlife, as well as giving informal talks on most evenings. A highlight of this particular cruise was one such talk from polar oceanographer Mark Brandon.
I was actually the lead academic on the very first Frozen Planet series, and I was lucky enough to go to the North Pole with Sir David Attenborough. I was working with the BBC team about the things that we should be filming and how to tell a story about how the polar regions work. And what I'll be doing on this ship is talking to our passengers on board about that story and the science that goes into making programmes like Frozen Planet, Blue Planet 2 and Frozen Planet 2.
The style on board can be likened to a boutique hotel, with more than a nod to the Belle Epoque in the decor. Each deck is named after a famous explorer, with artwork and photography echoing that theme. There are 59 luxurious guest suites. Public areas include the lounge, as we've seen, which is used both for talks as well as the welcome and farewell evenings. One deck up is the ever-popular club bar and the adjacent library. When it comes to dining, the options are surprisingly flexible for a ship of this size. Breakfast, lunch and dinner are served both in the main restaurant and, weather permitting, outside on the Lido deck. Lighter meals can be ordered from the club bar menu, and the daily afternoon tea is always popular. This cruise is described as soft expedition. I asked Jenna what that really means.
Soft expedition is where we will take you ashore, sometimes by Zodiac and sometimes alongside. It means that we get to use the small ship to its best advantage, so we can get into ports that other ships may not be able to get into, and if there aren't any ports, then we can go along with our Zodiacs and take you into some of the wilder and more remote places as well. It gives us the opportunity to use local guides and buses in places where they're available, but also just to go ashore on a beach somewhere and explore the surroundings with the expedition team.
And once ashore, there's often a choice of tours and activities to cater for different interests.
We've gone alongside today in Neskalpsstava, I hope that's correct. And when we dock in places like this, there's a choice of things to do. Some people want to go on a longer hike, some just want to do a stroll, others may just literally want to visit the museum. But we did the walk right up to the avalanche barriers and across the top on these lupin-covered hills. and it's just magnificent. You feel like you're really exploring a community with a guide who gives you lots of inside information and stories about the town. It's really quite fascinating.
With at least one, sometimes two excursions a day, I think we can safely say we saw the very best of Iceland on this cruise. I asked some of my fellow passengers to pick their personal highlights.
I think the first island that we went to, Vigur, it was the experience of using a Zodiac for the first time, and then understanding the industry on that tiny island and the history, and then walking through a field of Arctic terns and being dive bombed by them, and the sound, it was absolutely amazing.
And I love the islands. In Grimsey, we were so lucky with the weather. And again, walking there, the islands away from crowds.
Going to the lagoon with the ice floes in it, I had no concept of what it would be like. And on the shore, when you've got the ice that's melting and moving in the sea, and then you see these massive ice floes, which are changing colour before your very eyes. Yeah. Gobsmacking.
So for me, the one that was fantastic was the baths.
Came back feeling very relaxed and happy. Húsavík's a lovely place, and learned about the whales in the museum, which was fascinating. And then come back on board, set sail, and then lo and behold, these wonderful whales were swimming around the boat. It was just amazing. The small ships are the way forward, because you just experience so much more.
Iceland's scenery is completely awesome, but more than that, this was a cruise rich in unforgettable experiences. Final word goes to Mark, who I think sums it up just perfectly.
The sorts of passengers that these attract are different. They want to be in environments like this. We're all about the environment, the expeditioning that changes every day. And we work with local guides, we work with local companies. That is putting money into the local communities. The Arctic in particular, a lot of the communities are very marginal and they rely on that source of income. Tourism is a big deal, and responsible travel from people who care about the environment is really important.